Top 10 oil-producing countries in the world. In recent years, the global oil market has been impacted significantly by COVID-19 disruptions, price wars between oil-producing nations, and now the Russia and Ukraine war. In 2021, oil demand returned as COVID-19 lockdowns eased worldwide, pushing prices higher. Now into 2022, Russia's aggressive war against Ukraine has sent oil prices skyrocketing. Given these and other recent market events, many investors are curious to know which countries produce the most oil and may be able to fill the gap if the West places further sanctions on Russia. So in this video, we will discuss the top 10 oil-producing countries in the world. But before starting the video, be sure to smash the like button and subscribe to never miss out on any of our videos. The video is going to be amazing, so make sure you stick to the end. Number 10. Kuwait. Last on this list of the top 10 oil-producing countries is Kuwait, whose output decreased in 2021 for the third time since 2018. In 2016, production reached 3,072,000 BPD, then dropped to 3,025,000 BPD in 2017. In 2018, the country made a slight recovery, producing 3,059,000 BPD. Production fell again in 2019 to 3,017,000 BPD. Kuwait's oil and gas sector accounts for about 60% of the country's GDP and an even larger share of its export revenues at around 95%. Number 9. Iran. Iran's oil output increased dramatically last year, rising from 2,990,000 BPD in 2020 to 3,458,000 BPD in 2021. According to the EIA, Iran holds the world's third largest proven oil reserves, as well as the world's second largest natural gas reserves. Despite its abundant reserves, Iran's oil production has substantially fallen in recent years. It produced 4,779,000 BPD back in 2017. U.S. sanctions and regional disputes have all weighed on Iran's energy production sector. China recently signed a 25-year trade and security agreement with Iran and has called on the U.S. to drop its sanctions. Number 8. Brazil. Brazil's oil production fell slightly from 3,769,000 BPD in 2020 to 3,689,000 BPD in 2021. According to the EIA, total primary energy consumption in Brazil has nearly doubled in the past decade because of sustained economic growth. The largest share of Brazil's total energy consumption is oil and other liquid fuels, followed by hydroelectricity and natural gas. Number 7. United Arab Emirates. The United Arab Emirates is an OPEC member and is ranked among the world's top 10 oil-producing countries for decades. In 2021, it saw a small year-on-year increase in production, with oil output rising to 3,786,000 BPD. The country holds the world's 8th largest proven oil reserves at 98 billion barrels, with most of these reserves located in Abu Dhabi. The United Arab Emirates accounts for 5.6% of global total reserves. Number 6. Iraq. In 2017, despite increasing its output, Iraq got bumped from its position as the 6th largest oil-producing country. Output in 2018 helped the Middle Eastern nation regain its 6th spot position. The country has seen its oil production decrease significantly in recent years, falling from 4,788,000 BPD in 2019 to 4,149,000 BPD in 2021. It holds the world's 5th largest proven oil reserves at 145 billion barrels. That represents 8.4% of global reserves. Number 5. China. China's annual oil output was 4,993,000 BPD in 2021. The nation is the world's 2nd largest consumer of oil and moved from being the 2nd largest net importer of oil to the largest in 2014. China is the world's most populous country and has a rapidly growing economy, factors that have driven its high overall energy demand. The Asian country is the top consumer of oil, with 55% of its imports coming from OPEC member countries. According to Reuters, during the first few months of 2022, China's crude oil refineries have been cutting production due to COVID-19 lockdowns as the virus continues to challenge the government's zero-COVID strategy. Number 4. Canada. Next on this list of the top 10 oil-producing countries is Canada. The country's annual oil production rose to 5,558,000 BPD in 2021, up from 2020's output levels of 5,235,000 BPD. Nearly all of Canada's proven oil reserves are in Alberta, and according to the province's government, 97% of oil reserves there are in the form of oil sands. Energy exports to the US account for the vast majority of Canada's total exports. However, because of economic and political considerations, Canada is developing ways to diversify its trading partners, especially by expanding ties with emerging markets in Asia. Canada has been embroiled in a national debate over pipelines. In 2018, the federal government purchased the Kinder Morgan Trans Mountain Pipeline for $4.5 billion to ensure Canadian crude reaches market ports. At the time, an expansion was estimated to cost another $7.4 billion, after which the government would sell the project back to the private sector. In February 2020, a new cost estimate for the project sent the $7.4 billion figure to $12.6 billion. The figure was adjusted again in February 2022, nearly doubling to $21.4 billion. Number 3. Russia. Before production cuts in 2020, Russian oil output had spent several years rising. It hit 10,778,000 BPD last year. Most of Russia's reserves are in West Siberia, between the Ural Mountains and the Central Siberian Plateau, as well as in the Ural-Volga region, extending to the Caspian Sea. As the third largest oil-producing nation, Russia accounts for 10% of global output. In response to Russia's war in Ukraine, Canada, the US, the UK, and Australia have banned imports of Russian oil, representing about 13% of Russia's exports. In March of 2022, the International Energy Agency, or IEA, warned that Russia could be forced to cut 30% of its crude oil production, resulting in a serious global oil supply crisis. The implications of a potential loss of Russian oil exports to global markets cannot be understated, the IEA stated. Number 2. Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia's oil output came in at 10,835,000 BPD in 2021. The country possesses 17% of the world's proven petroleum reserves and is the largest petroleum exporter. Its oil and gas sector accounts for around 50% of its gross domestic product and about 85% of its export earnings. As mentioned, Saudi Arabia played a key role in OPEC's decision to curb oil output back in 2020. The country decided to reduce production by 3.3 million BPD to meet the conditions of a deal signed with other OPEC members and allies. In 2022, the country's U.S. relations have soured to the point that the Arab Kingdom seems unwilling to increase production to bring down rising gasoline prices. Number 1. United States. Number 1 on this list of the top 10 oil-producing countries is the U.S. Its output increased by 266,000 BPD from its 2020 level to reach 18,875,000 BPD last year. The U.S. has been described as a swing producer because its production fluctuates alongside market prices. Texas leads the way as the biggest oil-producing state in the nation, with output nearly 4 times as high as the second biggest oil-producing state, New Mexico. In addition to being a major oil producer, the U.S. is a big consumer of oil. Last year, the U.S. consumed a total of 7.22 billion barrels of petroleum products. That's an average of about 19.78 million BPD. Thank you guys for watching. If you want more videos like this, make sure to like the video and hit the subscribe button, and we will see you in the next video.